I hope you had a good breakfast today. But did you know that about 1 in 7 people in the United States woke up with nothing to eat? Hello, everyone. My name is Ria Badrinarian. I'm here today to introduce a solution, Hunger Map AI, a smart AI-powered system that identifies where food is needed most and helps it get there. So, what's the main problem that I'm trying to tackle? Well, millions of people are in need of food and aren't receiving the resources they desperately require. As poverty continues to grow, more families struggle to afford basic meals. This leads to rise in critical health conditions caused by hunger and poor nutrition. Meanwhile, tons of food are wasted every day, food that could help those people. Additionally, did you know that in the US alone, we waste between 30 to 40% of our food each year? That's roughly 145 billion meals, enough to feed every food insecure American and many times over. Over 13.5% of Americans struggle with food insecurity. That's millions of people, families, children, seniors, who aren't getting the food that they need, even though it's being thrown away just a few miles down the road. Bread, milk, and potatoes are of the most wasted food, and many foods are just thrown away because they are deemed as expired, but they are still actually good to eat. So, how can we approach this solution? Well, a simple machine learning model can analyze data to identify areas most affected by hunger and food insecurity. Then the system can locate nearby food banks and grocery stores with excess stock or those willing to donate. Using advanced algorithms, it can suggest personal plans for stores and food banks to reduce waste efficiently. Finally, it connects the donors directly with people in need, creating smarter, faster, and more efficient food distribution networks. So now let's look at what AI models would be best for this job. While using supervised machine learning, it can recognize patterns in areas already known for food insecurity and predict where the next crisis might emerge. It learns from labeled data on what areas are considered high risks and predicts what areas are more likely to have poverty based on earlier data. And then, with unsupervised learning, it scans for hidden hunger communities that may be overlooked but are showing early warning signs. It can also find high-risk areas that aren't easily visible and find regions with similar issues so that they can be tackled the same way. So for data collection, HungerMap AI will use machine learning to turn massive amounts of data, for example, census reports, satellite imagery, climate trends, and local health statistics. And this will all be turned into real-time hunger maps. And then inferences can be made from these trends and be turned into a data set that we can easily use for our models. But we don't just stop at mapping. Hunger Map AI will connect the dots. It helps grocery stores, restaurants, and food banks see where there's a need and where they can help. Stores with excess inventory or food nearing expiration can get alerts about nearby communities or food banks that could use that inventory. It even creates customized plans to help organizations reduce their food waste and manage donations so that they can easily deliver food and they don't have to guess on what they should be doing. And the best part about all of this is that it's actionable. With just a few clicks, this tool can redirect food that would have ended up in the trash and be put in the hands of those who need it the most. So on the screen here are just very basic examples of what the interface could look like. On the left, we have a simpler map for smaller parties or individuals who want to help. They can clearly see what areas are affected and where to go to help. On the right, we have an example of how a database for a grocery store or food bank could look like. It shows them how much of their inventory is starting to go bad and what areas around them could use the extra food. In conclusion, HungerMap AI is more than just an app. It's a system that turns wasted food into saved lives. This is a simple fix backed by data, powered by AI, and ready to be deployed. Let's build a smarter and more compassionate response to hunger. Let's build HungerMap AI. Thank you.